Most people don't notice the moment it happens, but somewhere in your early 30s, money stops feeling like a practical problem and starts feeling like a background tension that never fully goes away. You're not broke anymore, you're not struggling the way you used to, and yet something still feels unstable. Here's the uncomfortable question most people avoid asking out loud. If you're earning more than ever, why does your life still feel financially delicate? Why does one unexpected expense still create stress? Why does taking time off still feel risky? Why does everything look fine from the outside, but internally, money never quite feels settled? This isn't about poor decisions or lack of discipline. It's about the hidden cost of looking successful in your 30s. Let's talk about a situation that's extremely normal. You're in your early or mid-30s. You live in the United States, the UK, or somewhere in Western Europe. You've moved past entry-level work. Your income finally reflects your education, effort, and experience. In the US, maybe you earn around $75,000 to $90,000 a year. In Europe, maybe $45,000 to $65,000. This is the stage of life where people stop worrying about survival and start worrying about progress. On paper, this income means you're doing well. But paper numbers don't pay bills. After taxes, healthcare, Social Security, and mandatory deductions, that income shrinks fast. An $80,000 salary in the US often becomes around $4,600 a month after tax. A $55,000 salary in Europe often turns into 3,000 to 3,300 euros. Now, real life begins. Rent or a mortgage usually takes the first and largest share. In many U.S. cities, that's $1,700 to $2,300 a month. In Europe, $1,200 to $1,800 euros. Transportation comes next. A car payment or lease might be $400 to $700. Insurance, fuel, maintenance, and registration quietly add more. Student loans are still part of the picture for many people, $200 to $500 a month. Utilities, phone, internet, basic services, another $250 to $400. Groceries and everyday living costs, $400 to $600. Then come the expenses that don't feel optional anymore. Streaming services, gym memberships, work clothes that match your role, social events, weddings, birthdays, trips that feel justified after working all year. By the end of the month, what's left is smaller than you expected. Not because you wasted money, not because you were careless, but because your lifestyle now matches what society defines as a successful adult. And that's where the real issue quietly begins. Nothing about this lifestyle looks irresponsible. You're not living extravagantly. You're not buying luxury items. You're not making obviously bad choices. Everything looks reasonable. That's exactly why people rarely question it. But the problem isn't spending itself. The problem is commitment. Your rent isn't flexible. Your car payment isn't flexible. Your lifestyle expectations aren't flexible. Your income may rise slowly over time, but your costs are already locked in. Once your costs are fixed, your freedom begins to shrink. Most people don't feel this immediately. They feel it years later. Let's slow down and look at one very common decision: a $600 car payment. This doesn't raise eyebrows anymore. For many people, it feels conservative. But $600 a month is $7,200 a year. Over 5 years, that's $36,000. Now add insurance, fuel, maintenance, repairs, and depreciation. That car likely costs $45,000 to $50,000 in total. And what did that money actually buy? Transportation, yes, but also a sense of progress, a feeling of adulthood, a signal that you're doing fine. Now imagine something different. Imagine that same $600 was never committed, not invested aggressively, not traded,
just placed steadily into a basic index fund for 20 years. Even with modest, realistic returns, that decision quietly compounds into over $250,000. That's not motivational math, that's time doing its work. And this is where the hidden cost shows up. The cost of looking successful isn't visible today. It shows up years later as missed flexibility and persistent stress. So why do so many intelligent, responsible people make these choices? Because this isn't about logic, it's about psychology. Your 30s are the loudest decade socially. This is when comparison peaks. Friends start buying homes, colleagues upgrade cars. Social media creates the illusion that everyone else has figured life out. There's an unspoken pressure to signal that you're moving forward. Not to be rich, just to not look behind. So people optimize for appearance instead of resilience. They buy certainty today and hope future income will take care of the consequences. Once that lifestyle is set, it becomes emotionally painful to reverse. Downgrading feels like failure, even when it's logical. So most people don't downgrade. They work harder instead. They accept stress as normal. They assume this is just what adulthood feels like. The system quietly encourages this behavior. Banks prefer long-term commitments. Car companies sell monthly affordability instead of total cost. Employers benefit from workers who can't easily walk away. Advertising doesn't sell products, it sells identity. A car becomes competence, an apartment becomes success, a lifestyle becomes proof that your effort mattered. Once you accept those definitions, the system runs smoothly. You earn, you spend, you stay busy, you stay dependent. Not poor, but not free. If this pattern continues long enough, something subtle happens. Income increases, but lifestyle absorbs it. Savings grow, but not enough to change your life. Risk tolerance disappears. You can't take a career break. You can't experiment. You can't say no easily. One job loss becomes panic. One health issue becomes financial stress. One economic downturn becomes personal. From the outside, everything still looks fine. Inside, life feels fragile. This is why so many people feel exhausted despite doing well. They did everything they were told to do and still feel stuck. Now here's where perspective shifts. Financially intelligent people don't reject comfort. They reject fragility. They don't ask, "Can I afford this monthly?" They ask, "What does this cost me in flexibility?" They understand that early income isn't meant to prove success. It's meant to build margin. Margin creates calm. Margin creates patience. Margin creates options. They keep fixed costs lower than they technically can afford, not because they enjoy deprivation, but because they value independence. They delay upgrades until those upgrades no longer create stress. Over time, this difference compounds, not just financially, psychologically. Real success doesn't announce itself loudly in your 30s. It shows up quietly later, as low stress, as time control, as the ability to walk away when something isn't right. And often the people who achieve this looked slightly behind early on. They drove older cars, they lived in smaller spaces, they spent less energy signaling progress, but they built something far more valuable, a life that's hard to break. If you're earning well and still feel uneasy about money, nothing is wrong with you. You're not failing. You're just living inside a system that rewards appearance over durability. Once you see that clearly, your choices become quieter and smarter. Not extreme, not dramatic, just intentional. If this way of thinking helped you see money differently, you can subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.